Hello, loves. I am on here again because I'm being told to do one more little session for you guys, which I'm not quite sure what's gonna come out. But earlier I was being attracted to the little collection that is kind of growing now of nature theme decks that I have. So I mentioned the butterfly and the bird deck, and I'm also, I suppose this card deck also is related to the nature element. It's the botanical, which, I don't know, I guess botanica means plant, but like the way the word botanical is used now is a little confusing for me. What is the actual definition? I think botanical literally just means botany, which is plants. Okay, so this is plants. Okay, but I feel like people these days are using the word botanical to make it sound like some kind of magical thing. So botanical things are spiritual, yes, but they're just plants. They're just natural biological items, okay? And whereas these, on the other hand, the butterflies, they might seem like items to some people, but they are not items. They are living beings. So are plants. Plants are living beings, but they are items. And butterflies are animals, okay? They're insects type of animal. And birds are definitely animals, okay? They are flying animals. Well, not all of them. Penguins cannot fly. As far as I know, okay? So these are my 3 nature element cards. Oh, and the Egyptian sacred animals, but that's like kind of different because those are like gods or something. So, I mean, I guess these can be gods as well. So, plants, deities, perhaps. I don't really get like god energy from plants. They are kind of like passive, and their life drive, I suppose they have like a life drive. They're not really the active souls that butterflies and birds are, so it's quite interesting, okay? So I guess there's like nature elements to this deck, to the, there's nature elements in the Rider-Waite deck. I do have the Rose Tarot here as well, which roses are plants, okay? Rose Tarot. So maybe this video I'm just supposed to show you guys my botanical, see, I want to use the word, my botanical decks, okay? The Rose Tarot, the Botanica Occulta Tarot. Those are my botanical decks. Let me see if there's anything else. And then my animal decks, which are, oh, my Zins just fell on the floor, okay. The Egyptian sacred animals, the butterfly oracle cards, and the spiritual meaning of birds, which is a very elite deck, okay? I mean, all my decks are elite, but that one is especially elite. So, the Zins, did they spill everywhere? It doesn't look like they spilled, but I'll get them later. I think there's only a couple of them left. So, I'm kind of just flying like a bird right now, just seeing what calls my name. I don't know, I haven't made a video showing you guys my special decks, so I may just end there, but this is like in my hand, so maybe I'll do this plant deck and the bird deck for just initiating my nature specialist position. Okay, we're starting with the birds. Okay. So I have not really shown this side of my occult practices, but my divination, I do, my name is Rose, and I do have a strong relationship with the plant and animal kingdom. I am a nature whisperer. I communicate with plants. I'm a plant communicator. I am a animal communicator. Although I don't have as much hands-on experience or ear-on experience with the animals as I do with plants. To a certain extent, fish. I did have a pet fish. I had a cat, and I do speak to dogs a bit here and there when I encounter them in my daily life. And I do crystal communication as well. As you know, I have communicated with my crystals on this channel. And use them to communicate as well. So, yeah. Okay. I've never seen this bird before. I mean, it just looks kind of like a small sparrow or something. And it's called the Junko, which immediately elicited the Japanese feminine name Junko, which is the feminine version of June, which is a boy's name. Okay, and it also reminded me of the case of that girl Junko, which was made into a song by the Visual Kei band, The Gazette, which Junko was murdered and like tortured and raped and tortured in Japan and then like discarded somehow. I don't remember the details, but it's like a horrific story of, I think her name is Murata Junko. I'm not quite sure. Let me check. No. Murata Junko is known in Japanese cultural history as the founder of tea ceremony. I'm thinking about Junko, I think, Junko Furuta, okay, was a 17-year-old Japanese high school student who was abducted, raped, tortured, and murdered by 4 males. Okay? What year was that? 1989. the year of my birth. She died in January, but she was held for, a few days before her 18th birthday. She was born in Saitama, and she was killed after being tortured and raped. Died by traumatic shock, it says, in Adachi, Tokyo, Japan. She had a part-time job. She was a high school student in Minami High School. And they do have the names of the perpetrators on here on Wikipedia. It lasted a long time. She was abducted in November of 1988. And tortured all through December. And burned her inserted objects into her vagina and anus. And burned with hot candle wax, forced to drink her own urine, and eventually she died. She couldn't even walk to the bathroom. And she was beaten, burned and beaten. And forced to dance while naked, masturbate in front of them, and stand on the balcony in the middle of the night with little clothing. They forced her to drink large amounts of alcohol, milk, water, smoke 2 cigarettes at once, inhale paint thinner fumes. She would beg to be killed by her captors. Like, I don't know how they got all this information about how she was tortured. Finally they tried, after beating her up with their fists and an iron exercise ball, and dropped the ball on her abdomen several times. One of the perpetrators poured lighter fluid on Furuta and set her on fire. And she tried to put herself, weakly attempted to put herself out, but soon stopped moving. Guys. So Junko Furuta is here. The soul of Junko Furuta is here. And I have been thinking about her soul for years. It's interesting, and she's telling me this because, as I suspected, this happened like during the bubble, the Tokyo bubble, I believe. And like, bubble era Japan, and it was like the boys were way too like empowered or something, and that's why something like this occurred. Okay. And she's saying that she's never been able to find peace because of how she was humiliated. And she still feels embarrassed about what went on with her body. She's saying the Japanese emphasis on peace is like a false mask of strong, violent internal tendencies. Okay, perverted energies. That are not allowed. Hold on. Yeah, there's a lot going on under the surface of the human mind. And she's saying something about the Japanese school system. She's saying that it's really evident from how the schools function in Japan, how these violent natures are, evident. Unchanneled violent energy, okay, Martian energy, that has no escape valve, okay? She's saying one good thing, which I agree with. The sports stars from Japan, like the baseball players that we know about, like people who know about baseball from like American baseball. I mean, I think baseball is mostly popular in America, and it's also very popular in Japan. Like those are the few Japanese males that are able to express their physicality and Martian nature. Okay, the male element, okay, aspect of life, of existence. I don't know if am I still recording? Good. So it's saying something about how Furuta-san is saying she is happy that some Japanese men are going into sports and getting international recognition, because like the fact that Japan has been forced to relinquish like military forced to accept peace has caused like internal perversion and like really twisted minds. And it's like corrupted the religion too. Like they're a nature-based religion, but it's become like they've been separated from their nature. It's very, very bad. It's very, very dark. It's very, very evil. She's saying that the beauty standard in Japan also has been corrupted by this. Okay, and people have been like adapting to this situation and taught to value like unhealthy beauty standards and like unnatural beauty, which is wicked. Okay. And it's she thinks it's funny and strange that Japan is considered like a wholesome country by outsiders when it's actually been twisted into this like she's saying false version. And that all they have left is like their food. That's what she says. She's really sad about that. She's saying though that she knows that the times are changing now, and the soul will persevere. Okay. And adapt. Just like there must be like calm so that there can be reemergence. Okay. Okay, so change is embarrassing sometimes, And she just wants people to respect that. Okay? And that Japan will be an upright country once again. And they should defend themselves in the meantime. She's saying like the status of Japanese people now is like crawling on all fours, like infancy, and she wants the Japanese people to stand on their own two legs. That would be very nice. Very nice, because there's berries on here. That's what she said. You know how Japanese people, they can't really say the difference between V and B? That's it. That's all she wanted to say. Okay. This is very interesting. Okay, I think Furuta is gone. And this is crazy. We got like another connection in my mind of Japan, which is the Lady of the Dunes, the Woman of the Dunes, which is a Japanese story of this lady. It's a little scary to me, but it's about this lady in this village where this guy goes and they're like digging these sand dunes or something. And okay, because what the bird that we got is the sandpiper here, which I'm not too familiar with this species, but since we were thinking about Japan and when I saw the picture, I immediately thought of this Woman of the Dunes of the Japanese story. And the key words of this, the phrase or definition of this bird in this card is balance, quickness, looking below the surface. Okay. I'm not quite sure what the story of the Lady of the Dunes ended up being, but the guy like marries the lady and like stays there in her town, and I don't remember what happens, but something about like he has to like dig these holes, like he has to that's crazy because that just reminded me of another book that I read one of my favorite books ever from when I was a younger person is Holes. I think his name is Louis Sachar. I'm not remembering the pronunciation of the author's name. Holes is that story about the guy who gets sent to like a juvenile detention center and he's forced to dig holes, and then he hears that like the whole purpose of this prison center is the fact that they're looking for some lost treasure or something, like a deed or something, like they're forcing the criminal juveniles or something like that to dig holes, specific size holes, just to find like this item that they're looking for. And he ends up like, I just remember something about I think he finds it or something, and he doesn't have any food, and he finds like these onions in the under the earth, and like he survives off onions. I don't remember, but like I think it was a good ending or something. I don't really remember. But it was like something about like truth prevails. Like there was some backstory to the whole thing, and the guy figures it out, or it's exposed, and anyways, I think they made a movie. I never got the chance to watch the movie, but it would be interesting to remind myself what the plot of that story was. So we have the bird called the sandpiper. So, okay, I'm also getting like this bird. Am I still recording? It's like by the ocean. Okay. It looks like kind of like a rocky coast to me now. It looks like, I do believe this is a seabird, isn't it? Sandpipers? Have to do a little study.